All right, so this is the Exo Drone Black Hawk 3 Pro. I actually thought Exo was dead after it was sold to OpenStore because I didn't hear anything more about it. If anybody ever said, did Exo dupe me? I'll say no, because if I really think about it, you're not lying to anybody. Because if we look at the name Exo, what does Exo mean?
Exo means a good drone experience. Exo means fuck everything else. I just want a drone that flies good.
I know, but Exo by definition is exterior. So you're not lying to anybody because you're changing the exterior of these drones, but the internals are still Hubsan, Charlie. Right?
Motherfucker. Yes, sir.
Then they reached out and asked if I wanted to take a look at this drone. And I told them, sure, but I would have to charge you to look at it. And I threw out a figure of $750. Now, why does this matter? Because I have to take the time out of my day, my busy schedule, to review something that I really couldn't give a shit less about. And I really didn't have all that good of an experience with Exo Drone before. So I want to be clear, in this video, it is sponsored. Exo Drone is sponsoring the video, but they do not get to tell me what I can say. I'm allowed to talk about this in any way. And I'll just tell you straight out of the gate, before you even finish this video, I cannot recommend this drone for you to purchase. And it's not because it flies like shit. It's mostly because the price is absolutely whack in comparison to what else is on the market. Let's get started. Okay, so let's quickly go over the specs of this drone before we put it up in the air. So it does shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second, 4K 30, 1080p 30, 1080p 60. There's no 24 frames per second on this camera. It's a 1/1/3 sensor size, f1.8 aperture, similar to the Mini 4 Pro, but slightly smaller at f1.8. I think the Mini 4 Pro is 1.7. The pixel sizes are relatively the same. I don't know what image processor's on there, so that could be a differentiating factor as far as image quality goes. But overall, spec-wise, it looks very similar. It does not shoot H.265, and I didn't see anything about 10-bit color on this. Looks like it only offers H.264, which the Mini 4 Pro has H.264, H.265, D-Log 10-bit. Again, didn't see anything in the specs that state that this shoots 10-bit color. It does shoot photos, it has auto bracketing modes, it has DNG files, so all of that's still there. If you're a budding photographer, you'll be happy to know that that exists. This drone is a little bit different than the Black Hawk 2 Pro because the battery now has this little Humpty Dumpty hump like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, so huge battery, claims of up to 53 minutes in flight, which is pretty crazy for this. The last drone that I saw achieve 50 minutes of flight was the V-Copter. Rest in peace. The V-Copter was the last drone that I knew achieved up to 50 minutes in flight of this size. This drone weighs 738 grams, which this is a small drone if you're looking at it. It's relatively the size of the Mavic Air 2. It is smaller than the Air 3, slightly larger than the Mini 4 Pro, but comes in at 738 grams. If you threw this at somebody or broke a window, you're going to be charged with the hate crime with this drone because that's how heavy this thing feels in the hand. It feels like a solid brick. On the outside of this drone, it looks like Evel Knievel designed it. It has a red stripe down the middle, blue stars, white. It screams that it wants to be America, but let me just remind you that if you open this drone up, you take out the battery and you look down in here, it says made in China and it's made by Hubsan. This is still made by Hubsan, so nothing has changed there. Exo claims that they are an American company. Maybe they are a company operating in America, but their products are still made in China. So just a statement, it is not Blue UAS compliant because for that to be the case, these would have to be manufactured here in the good old US of A, but it clearly states that it's made in China. So this is still, to me, a Chinese product that wants to be American. It's very, very similar to American Chinese food that wants to be Chinese, but it's just not that. We still have the RC. This is the RC. It looks like a Mavic Pro RC from the Mavic Pro and the Mavic 2 Pro. It is the more cheapest feeling RC. Like, this is the most cheap feeling of the entire kit. It is sort of comfortable. It has these little antennas. It does come with USB-C cable, and it also comes with a lightning cable. It is micro USB into the actual RC, and then USB-C going into your phone. I wish this was USB-C. I mean, why are we still using micro USB in 2023? It makes no sense. But overall, your sticks hide in there, and then your phone goes into here. It can accommodate a pretty wide phone, so that's pretty cool, but we'll have to see how it does. Exo claims that the range of this drone is 9 miles. Now, last year, I would say I was pretty impressed with the range. I felt like the transmission and latency was better than that of Autel, so there's one positive. So was that worth your $750, Exo? I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this up into the air and see how it flies. All right, so the app that you're gonna be using is the Exo Pro app. I probably should record the screen. One of the things that's really annoying, it keeps asking me to trust the application, which is annoying. Like, you gotta do this every time on the iPhone. I don't know how it is on Android, but let me start screen recording here. It says start a calibration. It says magnetic field. Well, can I just take off? Oh, it wants me to calibrate the compass. Okay, well, I guess we'll calibrate the compass. Oh, am I supposed to go this way? It's telling me to stay away from the metal. Jesus Christ. I haven't done a compass calibration in what feels like ever. All right, how do we take off with this thing? Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're gonna take off. Oh my God, it's telling me magnetic interference. This thing's... Oh, finally it took off.
The home point has been updated. Please be mindful of the new return to home point.
Yeah, okay.
No obstacle avoidance.
It's loud.
Please fly with caution.
All right, let's see. Let's flip over the video. Another thing is that for video, you can't actually start video until you take off. Got horizon, so latency is not good. So we got horizon tilt. That's so at least they have that on point with Autel.
How you doing, bud?
What's that?
Get some good shots?
I hope so. I'm already off to a good start today.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I already got it up in there.
Oh, this one goes good. Rolling.
Oh yeah, it's out there.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if it'll come back though.
Yeah, okay.
Take it easy. All right, so it looks like the horizon's leveling out now. The yaw is a little twitchy. The image doesn't look bad. I will say the dynamic range on this actually looks really good. But out here, I mean, I think it always looks good. Transmission quality is good. Let's see what happens when we go past. But man, look at this though. It's just that yaw. Could probably tune that out. I just cannot get this thing to yaw. The yaw is like way too sensitive. Does seem like the horizon tilt is leveling out. Maybe that's a gimbal calibration, I don't know. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, it's gimbal calibration. The image quality looks good. You can really see the difference in the field of view. So this is a lot wider, and actually you can start seeing the distortion in the background. If you look on the back, it sort of starts bowing upwards, and that's because of the distortion. Now you can fix that with some lens corrections, but that usually happens with super wide angle lenses. They get a little bit of distortion. Now, as far as the flight of this, I mean, it's not flying bad, just the yaw is just an absolute shit show. Starting to get a little bit of break up there, but it looks good. Thank you, Michael Belshi. Let's see what this gimbal does. Oh, you can actually correct the horizon on the fly. So maybe that's something that they're aware of, and that's why they have it there. I don't know. That's my only guess. Let's see. Can we? What is these flight modes? They got blockbuster mode, waypoint mode, following, creative. Interesting. So this is normal mode. Do they have a sport mode? Oh, it wants me to stop recording. I don't want to stop recording, but I want to make it go faster. what is this FN? Oh, now I'm in sport mode, okay. So there's the beach out there. Whoa, gimbal tilted. So I do want to make mention, they did say that this drone is FAA compliant, which is sort of an interesting statement because the FAA doesn't really make these compliant. Remote ID makes them compliant. So it does have remote ID. It's remote ID ready, essentially. That was one of the big things that they made a point that they wanted to be discussed, is that it is remote ID ready. And you can actually see there's a little remote ID status symbol right here. So there's that. It's remote ID ready if that's something you care about. But just, I want to go back to the compliancy thing. Any drone, any drone, that tweet was too well timed. I didn't pay him to do that. Any drone can be compliant if you put a module on it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Any drone can be compliant. Let's pitch the gimbal down. Oh, the gimbal doesn't even pitch. Is the gimbal not pitching? Oh, it's slow. Very slow on the gimbal pitch. Yeah, I don't see it going 9 miles because I'm struggling at 5,000 feet. And I mean, I'm basically straight in front of us, 197 feet. I would say the range seems better than Autel as far as the video quality was concerned, but I don't see it going 9 miles. I think that's a bit ambitious. I think that's ambitious to state that 9 miles would be the range. So I'm heading back to us now. Got a plane up there. It's way up there though. Camera looks good. The image quality, dynamic range looks pretty good. It is struggling a little bit, but I think it's doing a pretty good job. Now we're going into the sun and I still see details in the shadows. Highlights are looking good. They're not really blown out. So, I mean, that's something, I guess, right? It's just the flight characteristics. The yaw needs to definitely be tuned to make it a little bit more mushy. I think a little bit mushier yaw would make for a smoother flight. I'm not a huge fan of super wide fields of views like this. I'm just not. I think it looks overly distorted. I can see the distortion, but again, being a photographer and doing this every single day, these are things that I noticed. These are things I get paid to notice. And I was never a fan of the Evo's super wide angle lens. However, I will say it is nice not to see any props in the shot, even though the lens is super wide. But yeah, overall the flight is just super, I don't know. It's just okay, I guess. It's coming back, I can hear it and see it. All right, so they also say that this has omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. That is a term that I think they are not using correctly because you have avoidance here, and then avoidance on the bottom. Technically, omnidirectional would also indicate that we have side and top obstacle avoidance, which this does not. So if you're thinking about this in comparison to, say, the Mini 4 Pro, the Mini 4 Pro has those new lenses that are more like 360 degrees just about. So you can get the top, the sides, and yeah, this doesn't have it. They did add a light to this, so we have a light, bottom sensor, sonar sensor, so it is just such a big drone for what it actually is. Then you have this little port here. I have no idea what this port is. This is the weirdest thing, I swear. So doesn't this look like an SD card slot? I tried to fit an SD card in there, but SD card doesn't fit in there. The SD card actually goes just above this right here. This is where the SD card goes, and there's like a program button there. So there's like all these little ports and weirdness going on. If you want to do the update on this drone, you have to actually plug your phone directly into the drone to do the update. I think that that's weird that it can't just transmit from the RC. So here's my overall thoughts, first flight in with this drone. It's okay. It's a good option if you're somebody that absolutely hates DJI or you don't want Autel because Autel's no longer really creating consumer drones, then this may be a reasonable option if you can stomach the Make America Great Again paint job that this has going on. Because yeah, this paint job is leaving a little bit to be desired. It's not really my cup of tea. Again, at the end of the day, this is still just a Hubsan drone branded for the USA. I mean, it's a little bit different than if like Toyota makes Lexus or Nissan makes Infiniti. Infiniti has like some premium touches, some premium features that you won't find on a Nissan. And I can't say the same about Exo. It's literally the same as what's on, you know, the Hubsan Ace, except for, like I said, they just put like this paint job here to make you feel like it's this American-made company, but at the end of the day, it's just made in China. Exo, fuck yeah, coming in to save the motherfucking day, yeah. Exo drones, here to stay. Charlie Cannon couldn't get in the way. I don't want to see people buy this drone because I think there are better options that are out there. And that's just my honest to goodness thoughts. This feels too much like a toy, not enough like anything that pilots would probably be interested in. All right. That's going to do it. I'm sure there'll be some Exo Drone fans in the chat that are super upset with what I'm saying, but just understand this. It's your money, not mine. If you want to spend $950, this is $950. Or you can buy a Mini 4 Pro that literally has proven features, proven track record, amazing image quality for $750. Or you can spend a little bit more and buy an Air 3. This is such a weird product. If this product was $500 or even $600, it would be an absolute competitor. I would love to know what the margins are on this because I'm sure they're pretty freaking good. But $950? You guys are smoking crack. Stay original.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put...
Exo's back and they're better than ever. For Christmas this year, the Black Hawk's here.